If you're an influencer, or maybe you just want to hire an influencer for your 2024 campaigns to help promote your brand, then you need to stick around for this session because today we're going to break down who are the influencers of the world today. We're going to break down how to optimize them and why they're effective, why they work. Now, if these things seem of value to you, please join us. My name is Bill Arnold. I'm president of Prevail Marketing. You may find me at us at prevailmarketing.com. And every single day, we deliver to you a video, gives you ideas, concepts, suggestions, practical advice on how to grow your business through better sales and marketing. These are techniques and strategies that we have honed over the years and used very recently. We want to make sure that what we deliver to you is highly valuable, highly impactful. So if you find this type of information valuable to you and like to see us continue, please like and subscribe and follow. It's important because we're trying to see whether this gets traction, whether it makes sense to continue this type of information to the public. So I appreciate that. But let's break down, talk about influencer marketing and why it's so important. I mean, I will tell you right now, it's one of the most impactful things you can do. You leverage other people's time, energy, talent, reputation, and reach. You leverage that to help promote your brand, your idea, or your product. Pretty powerful. In fact, it's so powerful that I think it's safe to say that every single company and every single marketing agency uses influencer marketing. Now, they may not know they're doing it, they may not understand how they're doing it, but they're doing it. I promise you they are. And I'm going to give you an explanation, show you how that is happening today. And you look around and everything you're seeing, say, oh yeah, that's influencer. So if that sounds like something would be valuable, let's talk about how it's changed over the last decade, actually, because back in 2015, I think there were just three categories of influence. There were mega, macro, and micro influencers, and that's all everyone talked about. In fact, many agencies, many marketing professionals just talk about those three categories. I'm going to tell you right now, today, they're wrong. That's right. Firestorm, come at me. I'll prove my point. They're wrong because something remarkable happened in 2020. Yes, that's talking about the pandemic. Well, that was remarkable. That's not my point. What remarkable thing happened is people were bored. People were sitting home, had nothing to do. And so to entertain themselves and others, they started flocking to social platforms, creating content. Some of it really great content. Some was just pantomime or dancing or singing. I just saying this. I can't do any of that, so I'm impressed when I see it. Okay, don't get me wrong. Highly valuable entertainment, right? Other people created content to explain an idea or concept they were passionate about. And many of these people changed their lives, changed their stars. They found a new profession. They found people wanting to engage with them, like them, follow them, subscribe to them. And a new industry was born where there wasn't one before, really. And so we're going to talk about the new category. So we went from 3 to 6. You recognize some of the 3 in here. Mega influencers, and when I talk about mega influencers, I'm talking about the Kim Kardashians of the world. Going forward, I might talk about Taylor Swift because I think she's got to be the biggest influencers. Those Swifties out there will do anything Taylor Swift asks them to do, right? Subject matter influencers are the second category. Macro influencers, midterm influencers, micro influencers, and nano influencers. Now, each of these 6 categories can be broken down into 3 separate groups. The professional influencers. These are people who make all or part or substantial part of the money by being influencers. And let's say Kim Kardashian, for example, as a mega influencer. She obviously makes a lot of money for other projects now. She's got Spanx. She's got other businesses she makes money from. But she's an actress now. I mean, but a lot of what she started out, and the reason she got to those points, is she was an influencer. She is, by true definition, a mega influencer. Subject matter influencers also make most or all their money through creating great content, distributing that content. You get quasi-professional influencers. These are the macro and midterm influencers. They typically can make money, but typically it's not their main source. It typically is supplemental. And because of that, they got to be treated differently. Then you got the amateur influencers, the nano and the micro influencers. So first off, when you talk about who is an influencer, everybody's an influencer. You're an influencer. I'm an influencer. Now, our social reach may be smaller, certainly smaller than many of these categories, but everybody influences somebody. Even if it's just your friends and family, you are an influencer. You are impactful. And all that can be utilized by marketers to help promote and grow brands. So let's break each one down, talk about each one, and let's start with mega influencers. For each of these categories, I'm going to talk about the reach, the relevance, the resistance, I can't say that. Uh, we're going to talk about the optimization, cost, and amplification. We're going to talk about all those. And we're going to give you real life examples of people you can look and say, oh yeah, they do fit that in that category. Let's talk about mega. These are the actors, entertainers, business leaders, politicians, athletes who have a reach over about 8 million or more. They've got a huge following, some 100 million, some 150 million. They're huge. And most mega influencers often opine on subject matters that have nothing to do with their professional area of expertise. I mean, you look at some of the things, I'll take Kim Kardashian as a perfect example. Is that, she's actually promoted lollipop. She's actually promoted public bathrooms on Times Square. I'm sorry, you can make jokes if you want, but public bathroom on Times Square is not what I associate with Kim Kardashian, which is fashion. And that's important because if you want to use them properly, they have to have relevance to their brand. They have to have authenticity and trust. If you're promoting something that you don't have any inherent knowledge about and you haven't gained it, well, it becomes less valuable. They become less impactful. And how impactful can they be? Typically, they only impact people between 0.37% and 4.96%, a very small number, isn't it? But they got so many millions of people that it translates. It translates into strong influencer. So again, I use Kim Kardashian as a example of mega influencers. She has, last I looked, could have changed, probably has changed, over 75 million followers on Twitter, over 2 million subscribers on YouTube, and 364 million followers on Instagram. She is truly a mega influencer. Now, if you want to optimize mega influencers, okay, and obviously you do, it again goes back to authenticity. They've got to be talking and promoting and suggesting and sharing things they have legitimacy to. And why can I prove that? When she started a branded perfume line, KKW Fragrance, it sold out and netted $10 million in the first 24 hours because it was related to her brand, fashion, right? But when she endorsed something as lollipops, it had a very limited impact because it wasn't associated with her brand, her area of expertise, her value that she brings. Because of their large reach and because they're usually famous in other careers, mega influence comes at a very, very high cost. It can either be a fixed dollar amount, more often it's a percentage of sales, or an interest even in your company. So if you're a startup, unless you're close friends with a mega influencer, don't even look that way. If you're a mid-sized company, don't look that way. The mega brands can look to mega celebrities. Let's talk about subject matter influence. So this influence category came new. It's brand new. It didn't exist before 2020, to the extent it does now anyhow. Subject matter influencers are typically social media experts who share their content on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, those different channels. Typically, their reach is between 1 and 8 million follower subscribers over several social channels. So the reach is smaller, right? But relevance is where they shine. Typically, subject matter influencers are the ones who, back in 2020, started to opine about a topic they had a passion about, an expertise about, an interest in, to educate themselves maybe, and others certainly. And they did this with passion. They did this with such quality content that they generated between 1 and 8 million followers or subscribers. They have a high degree of authenticity when they talk about the subject matter they're experts in. This goes back to the law of authority. They are authorities on this stuff. They took the time, effort, and talent to learn about somebody to a degree that you haven't taken. So you take shortcuts and listen to them. You rely upon them for their expertise. When you look to subject matter influencers and you look to the relevance, you have to, what separates them, two different categories, is how they, what they offer. You got some that shill, that promote things to line their pocket. And when they do that, they're less effective, they're less authentic, they're less trustworthy, because you're realizing they're just doing it to make money. And you're one of the people they're shilling to. You got other subject matter influencers that do this for the validity of giving conversations, of starting conversations, engaging in conversation, explaining to you the subject matter they're most passionate about. Yes, they make money, but they're not shilling you to buy this. They're making money maybe through advertisers, that's fine, but they disclose it as required by FTC. They make money because YouTube and the social platforms pay them for the content. That's the primary source, and it can be substantial. How impactful are they? They can be between 2.43%, more than mega, to 20.3% engagement with every post. That's huge. That's huge. So I'm going to give you an example. An example I'm very proud of. I want to say I got a bias in this one. Altcoin Daily. You go to Altcoin Daily on YouTube, they got 1.3 plus million subscribers. On Twitter, they got over 1.4 million subscribers. I'm proud of them. They're my sons. They speak every single day on cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, altcoins. They are the industry experts. They just won Influencer of the Year at a convention. Why? Because they're the type of influencer who educates, who explains. They don't shill anything. They will never show you something, and that's why they got authenticity. That's the kind of subject matter expert you want. So if you want to optimize a subject matter influencer, how do you do that? You do that primarily, first off, by picking the right one. Find ones that create their original content about their area of expertise. Find ones that determine that reputation is central to who they are. They don't shill. They don't have detractors. They should be viewed as community as trustworthy. Look at their overall reach. How many people are they engaging with every single day? How many people are following them? And then you look for relevance. I mean, are their area of expertise aligned with your business model? If your product is, I don't know, ice cream, you wouldn't go to someone who is promoting cryptocurrency or talking about cryptocurrency or sharing information about altcoins or bitcoins. Unless I can buy your ice cream with bitcoin, so then we got to talk about that. The cost, well, first off, most of their money they're made by just creating content on those social channels. But if you want to use them for your brand, it's always a pay for play. You know, it could be a fixed amount, it could be a performance model, it could be a percentage. Depends on the influencer. Amplification. This is where they shine, actually, really, really well, because you're going to find that when subject matter influencer posts something, it's shared, it's retweeted, it's amplified by all the macro and micro and nano influencers in the country, in the world. And so all of a sudden now you have a information that is just kind of takes on its own life. Let's talk about macro influencers. They have between 500,000 to 1 million followers. Okay, they're typically executives, academia, bloggers, or journalists. They are renowned for their professional expertise or their passion of a topic or industry. Their typical reach is between 4.44% to 6.2% engagement. The person I follow is Chef Reactions. He's got 513 followers on Instagram, 45,000 on YouTube. He's entertaining. He talks about, he dissects how people are cooking. It's just entertainment. But through that you learn, and it's just mostly for entertainment. Yes, do I learn things? Of course I do. But these are the type of people who basically are going to be the dancers, the people who pantomime, people who sing. They necessarily are not going to be subject matter experts. I mean, even though he's an expert in cooking, it's more of an entertainment value you're looking at. They have to have a passion, profession, or the advocation. And if you want to optimize them, the way to do that, first figure out their engagement rate, their click-through rate, their normal ROI. There's lots of software platforms out there that can analyze that for you. But figure out how really impactful. Are they really engaged with people? Again, if you're going to engage them, they ought to be something subject matter related to you, okay, in your business. So if I'm going to pick Chef Reactions, it's going to be something about cooking or cooking products or things of that nature, if I wanted to be impactful or successful with that. Cost, it can be pay for play. It almost always is. It's a more moderate cost of subject matter influencers, and it can be the same way. It could be result based. It could be payment in the form of product sometimes. Okay, amplification. Macro influencers typically do not receive a large amplification, but they do receive some from other macro influencers, nano influencers, and micro influencers. Mid-tier influencers. Again, these are academia, executives, bloggers, or journalists. Same thing. The really difference between them and the macro influencers, the real difference between them is the reach. They have between 50,000 to 1 million followers, slightly less. And they're more of a generalist, typically. They're not the people who are going to be have a specialization. They also can be the entertainers of the world, just have less of a following. Typically, their reach is between 0.43% to 6.67%. I picked a journalist out, Jacob Savarov. He's a journalist I pay attention to. He's got about 66,000 followers on Instagram and about 239 followers on Twitter or X. Optimize them the same way. Figure out first off their click-through rate, what they're really valuing to you, and then look for subject matter relevance to what you do. Costs, they will accept payment, of course, but sometimes they will do things for free. Uh, we found a great way to engage with mid-tier influencers, is to create content for them, compelling content that's really above their capabilities as far as production value or information. And they are so thrilled to get that oftentimes that they will utilize that as uh, part of their what they put out, and that will give you the benefit of using their services for a very low cost. Go through the next ones rather quickly here. Micro influencers, consumers, employees, friends, families. They have between 1K to 50K followers. Uh, Micro influencers are people who follow you because they tend to know you or they rely upon some area of your expertise they trust. They tend to be actually users of the product or actually engaged in the industry they talk about. Their relevance is between 1.63% to 17.96% with every post. I'm an example of a micro influencer. I've got 3,500 followers on Twitter. Okay, don't ask me what I got on other platforms. It'd be embarrassing. Okay, optimize them. One way to optimize them is use gamification to incentivize them. They will typically do things for free if you help them create content. They will not turn away from money if you give it to them, but that's typically not how they get paid. Amplification. They tend to be smaller amplification. You tend to get micro influencers are just maybe get just a small lift, not a large one. Nano influencers are typically friends, families, relatives, between 10 to 1K followers. Again, these are the people you know. And the reason they have such influence over these people is because they're part of my family. They're part of my friend group. The people I know and trust and relate to every single day. They tend to have between 0.5% to almost 10% engagement with every post. The examples of these are your mom, dad, sister, brother, friend. Optimize them. One way to optimize them is to get them to reshare content, encourage them to reshare content they get from macro influencers or subject matter influencers. There is typically no cost to utilize a nano influencer. If they like your product, they're organically expressive. If they don't like it, they'll do that as well. Uh, this is really the summation of what I wanted to talk about, those categories. I've got a lot more detail on our website about them. I've got a whole ebook that you can download that's 70 some pages, 75 pages, 78 pages that you can download to find about how you would fit into these categories and how to use them better. Again, if this is something you found valuable, please like, please subscribe, please follow. Make me an influencer. Take me from a micro to a macro to a subject matter. Come on, guys. All right, come on. Elevate me here. I'm kidding. Not really. Um, if you need some help on how to set up your influencer marketing program or would like more information, go to our website. Contact us. Be happy to help you. Till tomorrow, have a great day.